Welcome to Wargroove. Alright, can you believe that harpies actually counter mages? Normally, that would be a terribly foolish thing to try, but in this game, we make it happen. Alright, so right now everything's going as planned. I'm a little bit behind on income right now, but we're going to be exactly dead even next turn. I position my sword perfectly so that it'll capture that village with the most efficient amount of movement. I build a pike to counter the knight. Everything looks good, but it's not that simple. Keep in mind that while pikes do counter knights, knights are far more mobile. If I can't get a full front of pikes there before the knight crashes, before valder crashes, before their momentum and tempo just hit me, it doesn't really matter that I have a pike. The knight can even attack the pike under the right circumstances. And this is one of those crazy games. Alright, now my opponent went alchemist. That was very smart, because keep in mind I captured the tower early. Even though I can't do anything with it this turn, by the time I can build with the tower, the alchemist is going to be on top of me. So it's going to make it very hard for me to use the tower we're fighting at to reinforce. Even though it's my tower, you'd think I'd have an advantage fighting right there. And also, if they take that tower away from me, they steal the air advantage. Valder can use it to build groove. I can be forced off this position and lose that lower village, and then that's pretty much the game if they get that kind of income advantage on me. So at this point, it becomes a game of protect the tower. I have no choice. I need to protect that tower with my life. Well, not with my life, of course, but I might lose the game if I lose the tower. So we've got to hold that position. My plan is to wagon down pikes and try to build a front. But look at what my opponent is doing. Alchemist, knight, they're doing nothing but making expensive, very mobile, very fast attacking units. This is a tempo play. This is 100% a tempo play. Their commander is Valder, for Pete's sake. This is an early game rush tactic as player 1 in quick play. Now the knight does not crit Ragna's current position. So I want to keep Ragna there. I want to just stay where I am and defend, because I'm covering the lower section of that rookery. I'm keeping it safe. And as long as Ragna's there, I can attack Valder. If Valder steps onto the mountains, if Valder spawns an infantry, I can attack them. It's not a bad spot to be in. So I kind of really just want to hold it and let him crash into me and hope that my pike counterattack is strong enough. Usually it is, but my opponent, Waterpig, is very, very good with this rush. Now here I'm thinking about, okay, it's a choke point. I can attack them, right? The reason I don't is Valder can stand on that mountain and spawn a sword behind me, sword crit me, or even just have the sword stand there, and then hit me with the knight. I'll die in a trap if I attacked Valder there. Already my opponent had set up a death trap. So I couldn't go in on that. I couldn't go in on that at all. You see, they even had that other sword sneaking down there. The whole thing was a trap. So not only is my opponent doing an optimal rush with Valder, Knight, and Alchemist, but they're good with traps too. At this point, I start to realize this is going to be a very tough win. Now, even though they went double Alchemist, I still built the Harpy last turn because of the Knight, because of the rush. I need bodies there, ASAP. I need bodies. And a Harpy is a body. I just have to keep it out of the range of the Alchemists. And even though Alchemists are great on mountains, Harpies are better on mountains because they can maneuver more easily. Now, I think about using Ragna to just wipe out that sword. But here's the problem. The Knight can go on the other side of Ragna. The Alchemist can jump onto the mountain to the left of Ragna and hit me, and Valder can attack Ragna from below. You might have seen me tracing it with my cursor there. That's a potential lethal on Ragna, even if I'm on a mountain. I could probably survive it, but it was just such a heavy risk. I didn't want to do it unless I was a little bit more prepared. So what I do is I start attacking, and I block off the ability for them to go around me. Since they can't go around me, then I say, okay, I can go ahead and take out that sword now, get some groove. But I didn't want to do it until I was sure that Ragna was covered on a few more sides. She's safe on top, she's safe on the right, she's mostly safe on the bottom unless they kill that unit, in which case their attacks are expended. I'm safe. But this is the second time my opponent has tried to trap me. Crazy, right? Now, I know that Harpy can die to the Alchemist, but I did a lot of damage to the Knight. I fended off their attack. It wasn't perfect. I definitely lost out on the trade, but it wasn't a terrible trade. It was almost even, and I'm just trying to slow them down at this point. Now, my opponent does something silly here and wipes out that unit there. Now, if they hadn't done that, if they had kept that body around, they might have been able to use it to block me a little bit more. But on the other hand, my pike was way lower because of that, and that might come into play later, so I can't completely say it was the bad move, it was the wrong thing to do. Because keep in mind, I'm now not sure if I can kill that alchemist, whereas if they hadn't done that, I probably could have killed the alchemist. Alright, so they're moving forward at this point with their line of alchemists, and guess what they're going to build? Another alchemist. It's literally alchemist spam against Ragna. Now, the one good thing about Ragna is her groove does a lot of damage to alchemists. So my best bet is to get groove as quickly as possible. But I need to hold the line very, very well and carefully before I get groove, otherwise I'll be overwhelmed and I won't be able to use it. The biggest drawback of Ragna Groove is if you groove into enemy forces and you have no forces, you will die. That's just the end of it. Now, of course, that's a drawback to every commander. Obviously, you need troops. But Ragna into valder, the trade-off is when you have groove, you're really powerful. But valder has until that time to wear you down, mash you into pieces. Now I'm thinking, okay, what the heck do I build here? More pikes? Are they even going to make it in time? Another wagon to try to get troops there faster? I've got to deal with this alchemist spam somehow. So at the end of the day, I'm just like, nothing I build is going to help me. And I just go for a spear. I figure I'm probably going to lose a few spears in this fight, replenish them, try to build like a spear line, kill the alchemists. Now this is where things start to get completely crazy. Because keep in mind, my opponent has how many alchemists on the field? And enough gold to use them. They start going alchemist critting on all my pikes. And I'm like, oh my god. And that one with the 1 health, you know, the one that survived because they sacked their sword earlier? Now that's doing additional damage to my pikes. Thankfully, it didn't completely defeat my guy there. But the biggest problem is now valder is going to come down, completely healed from their alchemists. Valder has infinite heals. Do you know how scary a valder with infinite heals is? And then you just can keep making swords like a factory, and I'm running out of units. That's the power of valder right there. You just run out of units. I do wonder how this game would have been any different if that knight had just like gone back and tried to kill my 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it could have made it, I think. Kill the spear instead of healing. I don't know if you even had enough for that. So given my current situation, it looks like I'm kind of screwed, right? Valder and alchemists are bearing down on me. I can't hurt Valder with the infinite heals. I can't attack their troops. I'm in trouble. But I'm 1 kill away from having groove. I realize this, and I'm like, alright, there's got to be something I can do here. I'm thinking just attacking this won't give me groove, and I need groove now. So I sack a unit to make it low enough so that I can get groove. Fully aware that I'm going to take a lot of damage if I pull this. But I think about it, and I realize that there is a way to do this and keep Ragna from dying. She'll get really low, but won't die. I put my knight in a decent position, just kind of eyeballing it because I'm on the timer. And then start bringing my other units down. Now the important thing here is I need to make sure Ragna can't be lethaled this turn. I want Ragna with as much health as possible. Also, since I'm about to use a Ragna groove, I build another Harpy in a position where the alchemists can't hit it. Now why am I building Harpies into Mages? And that's the point of this video. Because Ragna groove gets everything really low. But Ragna needs fast attacking units to synergize with so that they can finish off everything she weakens. Otherwise, there's no point. A Harpy can never attack a full health mage. That's a terrible idea. You'll lose your Harpy and the mage will take, what, like 30%? But a Harpy can totally kill a really low mage. And that's what I'm thinking here. Just bait them into Ragna. Try to get them to group up and then use Ragna to wipe them all out. And that's why we started building Harpies into alchemists. because my pike line got wiped out and this was my only choice. But it's gonna work. Trust me, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. I'm totally not showing you guys a video where I lose horribly for absolutely no reason. I would never do that. Alright, so valder gets a great hit on Ragna, and I'm super low. But remember, wagons are tanky as hell. And he's realizing at this point that there is no way to alchemist crit that wagon. It's not gonna happen. There's just not enough movement on the table. So instead, they just finish off my troops and are like, alright, well, that's it. Here, let me heal valder some more because I have basically infinite money and I'm on the attack. And look at that perfect grouping right there. But they're also threatening as hell. One of the reasons you actually do sometimes want to group onto Ragna is because if she goes in, you can then just kill her with the group, no matter how low health it is. So they're banking on the fact that I don't have enough follow-up, and that's why it's a great thing that I built that Harpy, or I would have literally no follow-up. Now right here, I'm trying to see if I can kill valder, like with Ragna Groove, Harpy crit, Pike, Knight, but it's nowhere near enough. That's not going to get me anything. So I'm looking for the ideal place to groove. Now I want to hit the Knight, but I'm realizing that that's going to kill me if I try that, because I'm at 3 health right now. I can't let valder hit me, I can't let a full health Knight hit me, I can't let a combination of units hit me. The mountain won't really do a lot for me, because remember, your defense doesn't benefit you when you're lower at health. Like, a mountain is 4 stars, but since I'm at like 38% health, it's really only like 1.3 stars. So that did great damage. My knight was able to take off one of the alchemists, and I realized that that knight is the biggest threat on the table, so I take it out with a harpy. Now, as for this, I just use it to wall off that knight, because I don't want it anywhere near me. And I'm also walling off valder from hitting my pike, because I don't care what valder does, I want that full health pike to be able to wipe something out. Now I'm going to build another harpy, because again, I need more follow-up. I need to just wipe out these units and kill them. So even though my opponent's army is all mages, I'm harpy spamming. I'm harpy spamming into mage spamming. And so far it's working. I've already killed half of their mages. And look, I've got 2 harpies. So this was pretty great. We've almost evened it up, but my opponent still has tons of gold. They have pikes incoming, that sword's coming down. Ragna's at 3 health. And in case you're wondering, don't worry, valder can't kill Ragna. Technically, valder can move through... No, yeah, it's impossible, because I own that rookery, so valder can't move through it. The mountain costs 3 movement, and the forest costs 2, so it would take 5 movement to get to the right of Ragna. It would take, like, oh my god, 6 movement to get below her. The alchemist can crit Ragna, but that is not enough to kill. It's on average 15%, because the alchemist is at half and it crits. Even on max, I think I'd be safe there. So valder goes in against my knight and brings it down to half. Unfortunately, that's a lot of damage. And now valder is using the alchemists to try to crit my knight, but knights kind of counter alchemists, and they're already pretty low. So the knight was able to hold up and tank pretty well, which means the alchemists are just getting lower. This is great for me. I want them low because then they can be taken out by harpies. That's the whole plan. That's the point. I'm using harpies to counter these mages here. It's hilarious. And now we're in a situation where valder has just crossed my front line, and the only backup is pikes that are too far away. And remember, he never made a wagon. And that lack of wagon is about to bite him in the ass. Because who would ever think that mages could lose to harpy spam? So I use Ragna to easily take out that alchemist. And then I'm like, oh, well, yeah, this is great. I can't kill valder this turn. Or so I think. If I high roll, I can kill him, but I want to get some, like, test rolls first. So running a few tests, I get a decent shot on him with the first harpy, and the second harpy tickles him. I got a low roll on that. So I don't think I can kill him this turn. I decide instead to just wipe out his troops and surround him. I could just keep the knight right there, not attack. Since valder's surrounded, valder cannot use groove. At best, he could kill the knight, but then his turn is over. And valder is completely surrounded. There is no other unit that can attack or free him, and he's dead next turn. That is GG. There is literally no way out of this. Harpy spam has successfully defeated alchemist. Like, we took out 4 mages with Ragna and 2 harpies. That's basically what happened. And Valder is completely surrounded. Oh, this is a surround worthy of Shu right here. There's nothing he can do. But my opponent, I have so much respect for Water Pig. Not only are they a great player, but they never give up, never say die. They decide to keep fighting to the end, moving their units forward, to allow me to have the finishing blow. So you've heard it here, Harpy counters Mage. I'd also like to give a shout out to Red Halo, who makes these awesome templates that I use for the thumbnails for my videos. Red Halo, your artwork is amazing. Alright, welcome to Wargroove, and I'll see you in the next video.